beginner-friendly small garden design ideas to create a stunning outdoor space. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this presentation on small garden design, an exploration into how beginners can transform limited outdoor spaces into stunning sanctuaries. Today, we are going to walk through the art, the science, and the inspiration behind creating a super impressive small garden, one that reflects not only personal taste, but also the evolving trends of architecture and lifestyle. In modern living, space is often a luxury. Urban apartments, compact townhouses, and even suburban homes are increasingly defined by efficiency rather than abundance. Yet, within this constraint lies an opportunity. A small garden can become a masterpiece of design, a place of calm, and an extension of the architectural style of the home. Whether it is a balcony, a courtyard, or a narrow backyard, every inch can be transformed into something meaningful and beautiful. The first step is understanding the vision. A garden is not just an outdoor decoration. It is a living composition, much like a piece of architecture. Just as architects use lines, proportions, and light, garden designers use plants, textures, and natural elements. Even if you are a beginner, you must think of yourself as both a designer and a storyteller. Your garden tells the story of who you are, how you live, and what inspires you. The first question you must ask yourself is, what is the style of my home, and what style do I want my garden to reflect? A small garden works best when it harmonizes with the architectural identity of the house. Modern minimalist homes often pair beautifully with sleek gardens that focus on structure, symmetry, and clean lines. Imagine raised concrete planters with sharp edges, clusters of ornamental grasses, and carefully chosen sculptural plants. Less is more in this setting, and each element carries weight. Traditional or classical homes invite gardens that reflect warmth and heritage. Think brick pathways, climbing roses, hydrangea shrubs, and perhaps a wooden bench tucked under a flowering tree. The small garden becomes a nostalgic echo of larger estates. Asian-inspired homes, especially those influenced by Japanese or Zen design, fit naturally with tranquil gardens. Stones, moss, bamboo, and water elements come together to create harmony. Even a tiny courtyard can become a meditative retreat with the right balance of textures and sounds. Bohemian and eclectic homes encourage creativity. In these gardens, colors, patterns, and unexpected plant combinations thrive. Mosaic tiles, hanging planters, and recycled furniture add personality and charm. Choosing a style is not about rigid categories, it is about finding a direction. A small garden that tries to include everything will feel cluttered. A small garden that follows a clear vision will feel intentional and impressive. The design of small gardens does not exist in isolation. It is deeply influenced by cultural, environmental, and technological trends. As we look around the world, several key movements are shaping how people design their gardens. Sustainability and eco-friendly design are priorities. More homeowners are seeking ways to minimize waste, reduce water consumption, and support biodiversity. Small gardens increasingly feature native plants, drought-tolerant landscaping, and rainwater harvesting. Architecture today often blurs the boundary between inside and outside. Sliding glass doors, rooftop terraces, and balconies encourage gardens that feel like an extension of living rooms. A small garden might include outdoor sofas, rugs, and lighting that mirror interior design. Technology is also transforming gardens. From automated irrigation systems to app-controlled lighting, beginners can now manage their plants with reminders on their phones, track soil moisture, and create lighting scenes that change with the time of day. Gardens are increasingly valued not just for beauty, but for well-being. Even in small spaces, people are creating corners for meditation, yoga, or simply quiet reflection. Plants are chosen not just for looks, but also for fragrance, air purification, and sensory comfort. Another important movement is edible landscaping. The rise of urban farming has brought vegetables, herbs, and fruit trees into small gardens. Imagine stepping outside your kitchen door and harvesting basil, cherry tomatoes, or strawberries from your balcony. It is practical, sustainable, and deeply satisfying. For beginners, small garden design is not about perfection. It is about progression. You do not need to be an expert horticulturist or a landscape architect to create something amazing. You only need curiosity, patience, and a willingness to experiment. Think of your small garden as a canvas that evolves with time. Plants will grow, seasons will change, and your tastes may shift. Instead of worrying about creating a finished masterpiece on day one, embrace the journey. Start with one area, one planter, or one corner. Learn how light moves through your space. Observe how plants respond to your care. Gradually, your confidence will grow and your garden will take shape. Beginners should also embrace simplicity. Rather than buying dozens of different plants, start with a few that thrive in your climate and space. Repetition creates harmony, and too much variety can feel chaotic in a small area. You can always add more later, but you cannot take back clutter. Let us think about gardens as architectural extensions. Consider proportion. A large tree in a small courtyard can overwhelm the space, just as oversized furniture can dominate a tiny room. Instead, think about plants and structures that fit proportionally to your area. Balance is also key. In architecture, balance is achieved through symmetry or asymmetry. In gardens, balance can be visual, with plants of different heights arranged thoughtfully, or sensory, with a mix of textures and colors that feel harmonious. Flow is another principle. Just as architects design circulation routes inside homes, garden design considers how people move through the space. A winding path, a focal point, or a seating area creates purpose and rhythm. Materiality matters as well. Architects select stone, wood, glass, and steel with care. In gardens, the choice of materials for planters, pathways, and furniture can elevate the design. A simple, concrete bench or a gravel path may feel modest, but when chosen well, they create timeless elegance. Looking ahead, two directions stand out: resilience and personalization. Resilience addresses climate change, water scarcity, and urban density. Future gardens will focus on resilient plant species, adaptable layouts, and flexible use of space. Vertical gardens, modular planters, and rooftop green systems are just the beginning. Personalization will become more powerful with AI-driven tools, virtual garden planners, and 3D modeling, giving beginners unprecedented ability to customize designs. The garden of the future will reflect not just global trends, but also deeply personal tastes, hobbies, and lifestyles. When we step into the practical side of small garden design, the journey begins with understanding space. Unlike expansive landscapes, small gardens demand precision. Every square meter carries significance, and every decision has consequences. Think of it as designing a micro-architecture project. Just as architects plan every corner of a compact house, you must treat your garden as a structured composition where circulation, zoning, and focal points work together seamlessly. Start by observing your garden space during different times of the day. Notice how the sunlight shifts, where the shadows fall, and how wind moves through the area. A balcony on the east side of a building will enjoy gentle morning light, while a narrow backyard facing west may experience intense afternoon heat. These environmental realities shape not only what plants will thrive, but also how comfortable the space will feel. Shade-loving ferns and moss thrive in cooler corners, while lavender and succulents flourish in hot, dry spots. Designing with climate and light in mind ensures success from the very beginning. Zoning is the next key element. Even in the smallest garden, you can create distinct areas with different purposes. A sitting corner with a bench or a pair of chairs provides a destination for relaxation. A vertical wall filled with herbs or succulents becomes a living artwork. A compact water feature, like a small fountain or a bowl with floating lilies, offers sound and movement. The trick is not to overload the space with too many functions, but to clearly define what matters most to you. A well-zoned small garden feels larger because it creates the illusion of multiple rooms in a confined footprint. One of the most powerful tools in a designer's toolkit is the creation of focal points. In architecture, it might be a grand staircase or a striking facade. In gardens, it could be a sculptural tree, a piece of outdoor art, or even a bold planter. A focal point anchors the eye and gives direction to the design. For beginners, start with one strong focal point rather than scattering attention across the garden. This could be as simple as a Japanese maple in a pot or a handcrafted ceramic urn placed strategically. Materials play a central role in shaping atmosphere. Gravel pathways crunch underfoot and give a rustic charm. Polished stone tiles deliver elegance and modernity. Wooden decking adds warmth, while steel frames or corten accents bring an industrial edge. The combination of materials tells a story, just like the palette of an interior space. Beginners should choose 2 or 3 complementary materials rather than mixing too many. Repetition across the garden, like using the same wood tone for a bench and planters, creates harmony and sophistication. Now let's turn to plant selection, which is where many beginners feel both excitement and overwhelm. The secret lies in restraint. Think of plants as the characters in your story. Not everyone can be the star. Some must play supporting roles. Start with a limited palette, perhaps 3 to 5 species that suit your climate and theme. Group them in clusters for impact, rather than scattering them individually. Repetition builds rhythm, and rhythm creates design unity. Consider plant layers. Ground covers such as thyme or creeping jenny create a soft carpet. Mid-height plants like hostas or ornamental grasses add movement and volume. Taller elements like bamboo, dwarf citrus trees, or trellised vines give vertical presence. This layering mimics natural landscapes and ensures that your small garden feels lush and complete, rather than flat and empty. Color is another tool of expression. For modern minimalist gardens, a monochromatic scheme, shades of green with silver foliage or deep burgundy accents, can look sophisticated. For eclectic gardens, bold combinations of yellow marigolds, purple petunias, and red geraniums bring vibrancy. Beginners should avoid mixing every color available at the nursery. Choose a palette that reflects your personality and stick to it. Just as an architect would not paint each room of a house in clashing colors, a garden needs coherence. Verticality is a defining trend in small garden design. Limited ground space does not mean limited greenery. Vertical gardens, trellises, and hanging planters extend the garden upward. A bare wall becomes an opportunity for a living green tapestry. Hanging pots along railings maximize balcony edges. Even repurposed items like wooden ladders or old pallets can serve as plant stands. This vertical dimension adds drama, saves space, and contributes to the layered richness of the design. Furniture and decor should be chosen with equal care. In a small garden, one oversized lounge chair may be more effective than 3 cramped stools. A folding cafe table can transform a balcony into a breakfast nook. Lighting extends the garden's use into the evening. Soft string lights create intimacy, while concealed LED strips under benches or along pathways add architectural elegance. The atmosphere shifts completely when the sun sets, and your small garden can become a magical outdoor room. Water, even in the smallest form, elevates a garden. The sound of trickling water masks city noise and introduces tranquility. A tabletop fountain, a ceramic bowl with bamboo spout, or a recycled pot turned into a mini pond can transform the mood of the entire space. Beginners may worry about maintenance, but many modern water features are compact, easy to install, and low maintenance. The sensory value they bring far outweighs the effort. In the context of future design trends, multifunctionality is critical. Just as furniture in small apartments often doubles up, sofas that become beds, tables with storage, small gardens benefit from multifunctional design. Raised planters can double as seating. Storage benches hide gardening tools. Modular furniture can be rearranged depending on the occasion. This approach maximizes both utility and aesthetics, ensuring that the garden is adaptable to everyday use and special gatherings alike. A key consideration for beginners is maintenance. The most beautiful garden loses its charm if it becomes unkempt and overwhelming. Choose plants suited to your climate and lifestyle. If you travel often, drought-tolerant succulents or hardy evergreens are better than delicate tropical flowers. If you enjoy gardening as therapy, a small collection of seasonal blooms may bring you joy, even if they require extra care. The design should reflect not only your visual taste, but also your daily rhythms. Another layer of design is the connection between indoor and outdoor spaces. Think of your garden as an extension of the living room or kitchen. A balcony garden visible from your sofa becomes a changing artwork throughout the year. A small courtyard adjoining a dining room can be decorated with candles and lanterns for evening meals. The architectural dialogue between inside and outside strengthens when materials, colors, or patterns echo one another. For example, wooden flooring that flows from the living room to the deck outside creates continuity, while potted plants indoors create visual bridges to the garden beyond. Technology further empowers beginners. Smart irrigation systems adjust watering schedules based on weather forecasts. Mobile apps provide reminders for pruning or fertilizing. Portable grow lights support plants in dimly lit corners. Automated planters even monitor soil conditions and deliver nutrients when needed. These tools reduce guesswork and allow beginners to focus on creativity rather than constant worry. Finally, remember that a small garden is not a static display. It is alive. Plants grow, seasons turn, and spaces evolve. Beginners often underestimate the joy of this evolution. A garden designed today will look different in 6 months and even more transformed in 5 years. This natural progression is not a flaw. It is the essence of gardening. Accept change as part of the beauty. Pruning, replanting, and refreshing are not chores, but opportunities to reimagine the story of your garden. A small garden, when designed thoughtfully, becomes more than an outdoor decoration. It is an oasis of peace, a reflection of identity, and a stage for future living. It connects architecture with nature, style with sustainability, and personal expression with global trends. For beginners, the secret lies in starting simple, designing with intention, and allowing the garden to grow alongside your own journey. To bring everything together, let us now look at the transformative power of small gardens as cultural, emotional, and architectural statements. Beyond structure, materials, and plants, the essence of a garden lies in how it makes us feel and how it reflects the times we live in. For beginners, this is the stage where creativity blossoms and design transcends functionality. The small garden becomes a work of art, a personal sanctuary, and even a social symbol. Consider the emotional dimension first. Human beings have always been drawn to nature, a phenomenon known as biophilia. In today's fast-paced digital world, reconnecting with green space is no longer a luxury, but a necessity. A small garden offers a daily encounter with life unfolding quietly around us. The budding of a flower, the rustle of bamboo leaves, or the gentle scent of jasmine at night. These are experiences that slow us down and ground us. For beginners, designing a garden with emotion in mind means choosing plants and layouts that invite interaction and reflection. A path leading to a hidden corner with a single chair can create intimacy. A cluster of fragrant herbs near a kitchen window can spark joy each morning. The social role of gardens is also evolving. In compact urban environments, small gardens often serve as gathering spaces for friends and family. A balcony garden with a few seats becomes the setting for evening conversations. A backyard with vertical greenery and a modest barbecue transforms into a weekend retreat. Even in the smallest apartment, a well-designed terrace garden can host dinner under string lights. These moments create community and deepen relationships, reminding us that gardens are not only personal sanctuaries, but also social theaters. Culturally, small gardens mirror broader design movements. In some cities, rooftop gardens have become symbols of resilience, where concrete surfaces turn into lush ecological habitats. In others, tiny balconies filled with edible plants represent a return to self-sufficiency. The aesthetics vary across regions, but the message is universal. Even within limits, creativity thrives. Beginners entering this world are not just learning gardening. They are participating in a cultural shift that values sustainability, wellness, and authenticity. Another important aspect is the sensory design of gardens. While visual beauty often dominates discussions, a truly impressive small garden engages all senses. Sound can be introduced with wind chimes, rustling grasses, or water features. Touch comes through varied textures: smooth pebbles underfoot, rough bark on a tree, or the softness of moss. Scent elevates atmosphere: lavender for calm, citrus for freshness, roses for romance. Even taste plays a role when edible plants are included. By designing with the senses in mind, beginners create gardens that are not only seen, experienced deeply. As we shift toward the future of small garden design, trends point toward innovation and hybridization. One major development is the rise of vertical farming and modular planting systems. These allow even the most restricted spaces, tiny balconies or high-rise windowsills, to host abundant greenery. Smart sensors now monitor soil conditions and adjust watering automatically, ensuring plants thrive with minimal effort. Augmented reality apps allow homeowners to preview garden layouts before planting, making design accessible to everyone. For beginners, these technologies remove barriers and provide confidence to experiment boldly. Sustainability remains a central force. Future gardens will increasingly emphasize native species, biodiversity corridors, and habitats for pollinators. Green walls that reduce heat, permeable surfaces that manage rainwater, and recycled materials for planters are not just trends, but necessities. Small gardens will play a vital role in addressing urban ecological challenges. For beginners, this is a chance to make a personal contribution to the environment, transforming their garden into a micro-ecosystem that supports life beyond their own. Personalization will also define the next era of small gardens. Just as fashion and interior design reflect individuality, gardens will increasingly become expressions of identity. Some may favor sleek, technology-driven spaces with LED lighting and sculptural planters. Others may choose organic, bohemian layouts filled with handmade pottery and wildflowers. The garden becomes a signature, an external reflection of inner values and aesthetics. Beginners should embrace this freedom rather than feel constrained by conventions. The integration of art into gardens is another rising trend. Sculptures, murals, and even digital installations are finding their way into outdoor spaces. In small gardens, art can become the defining feature, a statement piece around which everything else revolves. A striking metal sculpture surrounded by simple greenery, or a painted wall serving as a backdrop to a few pots, elevates the entire space. For beginners, adding art does not require large budgets. Even handmade items or creative DIY projects bring uniqueness. We must also recognize the role of gardens in mental health and mindfulness. The global conversation around stress, anxiety, and wellness has highlighted the therapeutic power of nature. A small garden can be a meditation zone, a yoga corner, or simply a breathing space after a long day. For beginners, this means designing not only for aesthetics, but also for comfort. A single comfortable chair, a small water feature, and soft lighting may be enough to create a transformative retreat. As architecture continues to evolve, small gardens will increasingly become extensions of the home's identity. Imagine open-plan living rooms that flow seamlessly into terraces, or bedrooms that look directly into pocket courtyards filled with greenery. This fusion strengthens both the house and the garden, making them parts of one continuous experience. Beginners should take inspiration from their interiors when designing their outdoor spaces. Repeating materials, colors, or furniture styles across the boundary unites the design language. In the end, the true measure of a successful small garden is not its size, nor even its beauty, but the way it resonates with the people who inhabit it. A small garden designed with intention becomes a daily source of joy, a reflection of personal taste, and a timeless connection to nature. For beginners, the path is not about achieving perfection on day one, but about cultivating a living canvas that grows richer over time. Each plant added, each stone placed, and each corner designed adds a new chapter to the story. The future promises gardens that are resilient, personal, and deeply integrated into human life. Beginners stepping into this world are not just learning how to arrange plants, they are embracing a lifestyle where design, nature, and well-being converge. With creativity, patience, and imagination, any small space can be transformed into an extraordinary garden. And in that transformation, both the space and its creator are forever changed.